Here's the first practical tip. Hit that red button that says record. That's the first.
That's a great one.
And everybody listening has to promise, the millions, the billions listening right now, have to promise.
But remember, we don't need that many people. We only need a few.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. So if you're listening to this right now, don't go back and watch your video. Just do it and send it. Do not watch it. Do not go back and try to critique it or edit it or whatever that may be. Don't do it. Record it, send it, and off you go. That's my practical tip for the day, I guess. And
what's up, Eric?
how are you? You're all in one piece. You're back from Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas. They even dragged me out to a club, John Summit, some techno EDM music. That was the first and probably the last time experience I'll be doing that. That wasn't the main reason I was there, though.
Oh.
I was there for A4M, which is a big longevity congress. It was like 10,000 people. It was the busiest show I've ever seen by a lot.
Wow. So where do they have that? In the convention center?
It was at the Venetian Convention Center.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It was massive. Like just walking to either side of the convention center was like 15 minutes.
Wow. That's wild. And just
wild.
Just tons and tons of booths set up.
Tons.
Wow.
Insane amount of booths.
And people trying to. Now, did you have a booth, or you just were walking?
Oh yeah. We had a booth with my new organization I joined a few months ago, and it was great. We pulled together this amazing looking booth and secured the booth like last minute. The corner flow, it was fantastic. Longevity medicine, functional medicine is burning hot right now, and the peptides, hormone replacement, and whatnot. It was crazy, which is a great opportunity for thought leadership for some of these providers and offices because because the patients are dying for someone to take that over. So I thought I'd drop that in there.
No, I bet they are, because I heard something very, very interesting today. It was from a real estate guy who does a lot of Ryan Serhant, who does a lot of content. And he's like, somebody was asking him, why do you do so much content, social media, thought leadership? And he's like, because I need the right set of eyeballs to buy that $100 million property that I'm going to list. And I think that says it all. Like,
you don't need 10,000 followers buying 10,000 properties. You need 10 people who trust you enough to take that step.
Right. Yeah.
Like, forget the audience, build authority. And I think that's what he's saying.
100%. Yeah. And really boiled it down to, it's not like I need billions and billions of views. I just need that one person to see me. And the way that they can see me is frequently sharing his message and his value. So, which I think is exactly what we try to do. I mean, obviously we have clients that come to us and say, hey, I want to shape my thought leadership. I want to be in this space. I don't have the time to do it. Can you guys help? And we can, and we do. But for those who are listening that want to do it themselves, there's we're really gotten on this track of stop with the AI social media stuff. I've talked to 3 different people this week that have stopped looking at social media. They've literally taken it off their phone. They just stopped because it's just the same old AI produced crap day in and day out by everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's just to go back to the show I was at. I mean, people are looking for people that they can trust because there's so much noise out there. So I felt that having a regular size medium booth was an advantage because these providers that were attending were looking for people that were able to talk to them rather than these massive booths where they just feel like another number. And I think that translates really well into what is happening in the marketplace for patients or whoever you're speaking to. You're not saturated in your niche. You just need to figure out how to become the authority in your niche. And yeah, like you said, we're here to have the easy button to make that happen for you, but we also do this podcast to talk about how you can do it and you can learn how to do it on your own. But like you're saying, Eric, I completely agree. LinkedIn and all social media, especially LinkedIn, is more saturated than ever. I've started to post 1 or 2 times a week. I was doing every day, multiple times a day for a little while. I still think that there's value in doing that if you do it the right way, and I think we'll dive into a little bit of that today. But every coach, consultant, sales rep is posting daily, but nobody's getting remembered because of all this AI. And there's a paradox there, like more content creation than ever, but there's actual less connection, which lends itself to a big opportunity for people.
Yeah, huge opportunity, because I put out a video earlier this week. Like, if you just sit down and decide to do some number of minutes per week of a video sharing value or sharing your message, the algorithm is going to reward you. Now, I always hate to say how the algorithm is this and the algorithm's that, but they realize that these social media platforms, people are jumping off of them. As much as they say, we've had hundreds of billions of views, they know this is happening, this phenomenon's happening. And so they want to reward those. They're going to produce content that's going to keep people on their platforms. I'm convinced of it. And
yeah,
I think it's happening.
I agree. And it's funny because I think also what's going on is the loudest voice that's in your specific industry isn't always the smartest, but they're definitely winning the narrative right now. And I don't think being consistent is enough anymore. You need to be really consistently different in how you're connecting and how you're speaking, because everyone's trying to optimize for the algorithm and what's going on there, but no one's optimizing for being really remembered. And I hope we can try to figure that out today.
Yeah. I always say nobody remembers who's in the middle. Nobody remembers. And so you're going to have to make the choice to not be in the middle and be that outlier that produces the pattern disrupt or the pattern interrupt, where somebody goes, oh, what did they say? Why did they say? What are they talking about? And I still, I'm going back to it. I know people cringe sometimes they hear this, but it's video. Because that's really I think that's the anchor. And then all the other value and content and thought leadership that you provide around that, and that can be short form posts or long form posts or whatever that looks like. I think that video's got to be the anchor of it, because people aren't listening anymore. They're just not.
Or direct video, as we say, to your ideal clients.
Yep.
Or people that you're trying to connect with, send them a video. And at least you get a really good practice by doing that and then getting on camera and talking about it.
That's a great point.
I mean, we use clips from this for content.
Yep.
Even though we're like technically talking on video right now, it's a little nerve-wracking in the beginning, but then you realize you're just sitting here talking with your friend.
Right.
But yeah, I wanted to kind of touch on some practical tips to maybe get started for people that are trying to understand, what are we talking about? What actually can you do? Because people are probably listening right now and being like, well, you're saying all these things, but what can I do?
Yeah. Here's the first practical tip. Hit that red button that says record. That's the first.
That's a great one.
And everybody listening has to promise, the millions, the billions listening right now have to promise.
But remember, we don't need that many people. We only need a few.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. So if you're listening to this right now, don't go back and watch your video. Just do it and send it. Do not watch it. Do not go back and try to critique it or edit it or whatever that may be. Don't do it. Record it, send it, and off you go. That's my practical tip for the day, I guess.
Yeah, and I got a couple more, and we'll see what you think, and maybe you have some more too. But
I have to interrupt you before you go.
Sure, please.
I'm taking care of a cat that is like behind me, and she just jumped up, and you'll hear her throughout the podcast. So that we're not AI generated. This is 100% genuine. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I got my Christmas lights in the background too. So there we go.
We're on a roll today. I like it.
I have to lock my cats out so they don't break in and do the same thing.
I'm taking care of my son's cat, and she's very sweet, but wants to get on camera. So there you go.
Well, instead of going through our favorite exercise, the talking logo, I think this is a little bit more basic way to start. And ask 3 people in your network who you are, or at least to describe who you are, your brand, in 3 words. If it's all over the place or no one can do it, you don't have a personal brand, or you don't have an identity you're trying to speak to.
I love that. That's great. And as I think about it. I think I know the 3 words that people would use about me, but I like that. Thank you for that's a great one.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious, right? As someone that like yourself that's been creating and you have a specific lane and people know who you are, right? I think the one of the first ones would be Red Hat aficionado, and then battling for 1B, 1A, 1B would be personal branding and video and content strategist. So those two are neck and neck, and then of course your med tech experience. I mean, all three. You could put any of those first, but
I thought you were going to leave with Red Hat idiot. So that I appreciate the aficionado.
I was thinking about so
I appreciate that. Yeah, well, I mean, and for your brand, I mean, obviously you talk about regenerative medicine, and that's immediately what I think, and for you've just, I mean, exploded with followers, and really, you do a newsletter. I mean, you got a lot of, you're sharing value every single day. So I would say, regenerative medicine values is your 3 words that I would think of your brand.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all I care about is people that need help with from what I do, which is, the medicine part, and then content creation or whatever, or personalized videos or whatever, that they know who I am so they can send me along to somebody else, or if they need direct help, they just reach out to me and I can help them, whatever. And that's ultimately your goal, right? Because remember, and I say this every single time, it's not an ego thing, right? It's your personal brand is not an ego thing. It's not showy. It's about who you're looking to help, who you're looking to serve in the marketplace. And that if you just keep remembering that, then you can start letting your voice, out there without being concerned that it's, ego or being showy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I had another little tip, and I thought this was a good one, for like kind of basic, kind of like the last one, which is if you started posting, and if you looked at your last 5 to 10 posts with completely fresh eyes, could someone else in your industry write them, or is it specifically you? And there's some road there that you need to take, right? Do you want to continue to be broad, or do you want to really dial into who you're speaking to in your industry? And that's, I think, a big decision to make right now, because the algorithm, and there's so much AI slop out there, that what we're seeing and what I'm seeing is the smaller the audience you speak to, the more effective you can be on social media at this point in day and age.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, and I know that there's these agencies out there that are telling these people, this is what you need to do for marketing for this and marketing for that. And it's not working.
Yeah. And I think another important tip would be, think about one thing that's going to like push you just a little bit out of your comfort zone, maybe just a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not saying like completely vulnerable, that it goes like fully over the edge, but it's just something that you want to share and that might be effective. That's probably the zone right there where you need to be thinking about sharing with your audience. That's going to really get the eyes on it of what you can actually help the world with. And I think that, that could be, if you're talking about, if you're trying to reach, salespeople in medtech, maybe that's the first mistake you made in a procedure and you got, yelled at by a physician or a scrub tech or whatnot. Or maybe if it's, public speaking or going on a podcast, and how you, completely stumbled upon that, and you're trying to speak to other people that are trying to create podcasts or be guests on podcasts, whatever your audience is, or whatever who you're trying to speak to, they want to hear that, so they understand that you've gained some authority in the space, or you've gone through trial by fire, and you can help them accomplish their goal.
Yeah, that's spot on. I mean, yeah, and just thinking about all these tips that we're giving right now, they're ones that we know, they're ones that we should all be using. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, that's spot on. That's spot on as well. And this is all stuff, everybody, that you can do for free. I mean, this is takes you, some time in the morning and engaging, commenting, and doing things like that. So I hope that when you're listening to this, you kind of jot these down or watch our star-studded YouTube podcast as well. Watch the video, and you can see what we're talking about, because it's powerful.
Yeah, and I think that we're giving a lot of hate to AI, right? But obviously we don't feel that way. AI is a super powerful tool. You and I use AI tools all the time, but there's a right way to do it and not sound like everybody else. And I think you need to use AI in that 50-50 rule. So use AI for I think it's important to use it for your structuring and research and initial draft, but the other 50%, at least 50%, needs to be pure you. And that's why it's so important when you're sharing examples and stories in word choice and especially your personality, because that's where the personal detail test comes through. You know, there's so many words and so many ways we can pick up right away if it's like a chat GPT post or whatnot. And when I'm using a personal structure in terms of, the tools that I'm using, I really like ChatGPT for structuring ideas or kind of like advice. I really do not like it, especially right now at this moment for writing or even giving me a sample draft. I really think it's a poor writer at this point, whatever reason that is, and we can go down that rabbit hole and probably expose it or figure it out. But
Sam will
I do prefer,
call you
yeah,
tomorrow to ask you.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, something's gonna happen. Patriot Act, or I don't know. They'll find me. But I do like Claude as my, really understand my voice and where I'm trying to go in terms of um, finalizing my draft. But that again, most of what I'm saying and what I'm typing is what I'm trying to share, something that I've experienced, first person stories, direct experiences. The rule, it's AI helps you think faster, not sound smarter. Then you'll just sound like everybody else.
Yeah.
Then what are your tools, your favorite AI tools for
So I
structuring?
I love ChatGPT for this. I hate to type. I absolutely hate to type. My type
Yeah.
awful. My punctuation's bad. I just start riffing. But what I use is I use this microphone in ChatGPT and I just talk. And it's my post, it's my words, it's my structure. It's everything me, but I just have it utilize it for, a lot of the grammar and things like that. And then what I use ChatGPT, well, I could go down a whole anyway, I'll go down a little bit of a rabbit hole here. Um, I use it and I use it in certain projects to prompt me for ideas. So think, hey, what about this, utilize today's current events and let's talk about this and how this, a lot of ideation stuff. The other thing I use ChatGPT for is, which I love, is I created a business consultant, and people are like, "How did you create a business consultant?" And it's my own GPT. And what I did is I fed it all the business books that I love, that I think are just absolutely fantastic. I actually asked your opinion too, Chris, of which ones you liked as well. You immediately went with a 4-hour work week, which I loved. That was cool. Um, and then I subscribed to Scribed, SCRIBD, which puts all books on PDF. And then I just uploaded those to my GPT on ChatGPT. So I use that for ideation for business, and it's awesome. It's my own McKeston, whatever, Boston Consulting Group. It's all my business consulting right then and there. Probably saved myself quite a bit of money, but yeah, so that's what I use. But so all that AI I love AI. I use it a lot. I use it for a lot of different things. I have it read a lot of different things and analyze things for me, things of that nature. But man, don't use it to write for you because we all know. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. And I think it's when you're using AI to write, or there's other kind of tips you can work in. I think that personal branding has become somewhat of a performance vulnerability. I think your struggle when you're trying to share isn't your strategy. I don't think that posting trauma is really the thought leadership you want to go with. I think reframing it as the vulnerability that you've experienced, there's utility there, and share that. So share your advice.
Yep.
And I think there's a fine line there. And I think the people that do it really well get their audience really dialed in, and they start to get a lot of DMs being like, wow, that really spoke to me. How can you help me? I'd like to connect over a call someday. And that's ultimately the goal, all right? When you start speaking to someone so clearly on how you've experienced it. And that's why, you're using all these AI tools to ultimately get to that path. And so am I when I'm trying to establish my authority in the space, so that I'm getting the DMs and the messages being like, wow, I mean, you spoke to me exactly on peptides. I'm trying to implement peptides, or my providers are looking for peptides. Can you help me with my doctor that's been asking about them? Can you jump on a meeting with them? Or I'm a doctor. I want to implement hormone replacement. Help me do that. Or, wow, that tip on personalized video is booking you more meetings. That's obvious. Thank you for sharing all this. Can you help me do that?
Yeah, and what it really does is it starts learning what you want to say, what you want to share. It starts learning, so it's really going to help you. It understands what you're trying to shape and what you're trying to say, which, it's machine learning, and that's what it's doing. It's after repetition after repetition, it's learning what you, or at least what it believes you want next.
Well, we have Christmas coming up. I wanted to do a hard pivot and see if you had any catch you off guard a little bit, famous Christmas stories you wanted to share or funny holiday experiences.
Man, you did give a hard pivot. It didn't prompt me at all before this.
I know. I figured it was kind of a holiday episode. We're creeping up on Christmas. Why not throw a curveball in there?
Man, I don't know if I have a
Nothing? No funny stories from your childhood?
really funny. Oh, I have one, but I can't tell it on this podcast. Yeah, no, that people would not like that if I told that story.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I'll have to tell you off this. But anyway, I don't really have. All right, all right. In order for me to figure out one, what do you have for a funny story? Do you have one?
I'm kind of thinking maybe I shouldn't share mine now. Now that you said that, I was going to share mine.
Well, mine's a little. Yeah, maybe
This is bad podcasting. People do not like this. This is not a thing.
I may cause a little bit of a rift in my family if I told this one. So
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, what are you doing for next week?
well, so I'm staying at home and we're having family here. So, but now I'm thinking about this. I'm like, okay, today is the 17th. Yeah, I guess we can't record on Christmas Eve, so that won't work. All right, well.
Yeah, we're gonna have to record early next week. So.
Well, okay. How about this? We'll have a Christmas story ready to go next week. That's the goal. So when we record on the 23rd, we'll have one. How about that?
Perfect.
All right.
Deal.
On that note, we'll see everybody next week.
All right. See ya.
See ya.